Buongiorno, amiche, amici. T. Walker here. Wine session number 7. Numero siete. Yeah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's morning here. I'm on location, or I should say maybe off location, a new location, up in the Northeast. I'm at a wine convention. This is my lovely hotel room behind me and its backdrop. I promise there's a better camera coming soon. Give you some more clarity into the wines that we're drinking. You can see, I think, a little bit of bubbles on there because I've got a bubbly wine. See if we can focus on that. Not too bad. Lovo's the producer. Colli Euganei, outside of Venice, in the Veneto, is the DOCG, including its little counterpart Fior di Arancio, or flowers of orange, orange blossoms. It's 2018 vintage. It does say underneath that you can't read in small fine print, Moscato Giallo. Yellow muscat, a muscat yellow. I'm a big fan of this grape variety. It's mostly grown in the northeast of Italy, Alto Adige, in this little unique area, maybe an hour or so outside of Venice, in some hills that come up south of Padova, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 feet, fairly rugged, calcareous soils, and in this DOCG of the Colli Euganei, Fior d'Arancio, orange flowers, they make usually, well, this is a sparkling spumante style wine. They also make a dessert style of wine from Moscato Giallo. They're both very intense and rich, especially the dessert, and muscat-like, but for me it's very different than the Muscat of Alexandria, or the Alexandria, which is kind of the world's most grown clone of Muscat. There are many clones of Muscat, and some can be quite different, although most of them share some parentage with Muscat of Alexandria, and therefore have a similar kind of Muscat-like quality to them that separates them from really all of the grapes that are out there. They share a family. Not to be confused, as I'm in the southeast, with muscadine, which is an entirely different species of grapevine. Just a little tidbit there. But it is bright and early where I am, 7:15, and seize the day, as they say. Palate tastes it tastes best in the morning, and this is the time that I've got today, so we're rolling with it. But so anyways, without further ado, Moscato Giallo. Give it a little sniffy sniff, see what's going on. I've had this yesterday as well, and I really wanted to review it. I think it's a beautiful wine, a compliment to a lovely afternoon and some dessert, some cheesecake, certainly something at night, or even on a brunch. It's 6% alcohol, so definitely low in alcohol. It's got about 80 grams of residual sugar per liter, so it's fairly sweet. It's not cloyingly sweet, which is what I like about it. I'm not a big sweet wine drinker, although this is beautifully in balance. But a little less aromatic than yesterday, but for me, Moscato Giallo and Muscat, it has this intensity, has this intoxicating aroma that just grips you and kind of allures you back in. The Muscat kind of spicy, foxy, maybe not foxy, but spicy kind of luxurious character to it that it's really hard to pinpoint one flavor other than muscat. But it's, I kind of equate it to like this. If you had like a bitter orange or maybe a bitter lemon, I don't know if I've had that. I'm sure they have those. I think they're called Quinoto. But these bitter citrus, specifically on the orange side, as it is named flowers of orange for a reason. Um, it has this kind of spicy orange oil type of aroma that just keeps you coming back into the glass that I love. It's kind of candified in a way. I wouldn't say honey for me personally. It's more of like if you took the juice and reduced that and got that kind of sappy, kind of natural orange flavor, if you will. Definitely extremely floral as well. I need to brush up a little bit, to be honest, on all my different floralities, if I can use that as a word. Um, there's so many different types of flora, and this is kind of probably a citrus, but it could be orange blossom. I don't know. I'd be lying to you if I said I knew exactly or was 100% confident in what I was saying. But it's not a lot of things. It's not gardenia. It's not particularly anything like jasmine. Or some of these flowers that we might be used to at the house. It's not, excuse me, particularly a rose type of nose. So I'm just inclined to say orange blossom because it says orange blossom on the label. I think we can go with that. Just superbly balanced from start to finish. The bubbles are there. They're not as intense as a champagne would be, a traditional method sparkling wine. Um, they're there, in a frizzante kind of style, maybe even a little less than prosecco, I would say, similar to like a Moscato d'Asti type of pearl bead. This is made in the similar method, the same method as most Moscatos and from Asti, as well as um, prosecco, and that's by the Charmat method. That was invented in Italy, also known as many other things, or the Italian method. But essentially, it's like making one big, it's like making the traditional method, but in a big tank. So in the traditional method, you add sugar and yeast to one bottle, re-ferment. You remove the little yeast deposit and such as after it ages a while, and then fill it back up with a little bit. And that fermentation inside the bottle, you get trapped CO2. CO2 is given off during fermentation when the yeast eat the sugar. So off gassing produces the bubbles inside the bottle. Well, this is essentially the same thing. It's just in a big tank. So they add those things. They close the tank. It's a pressurized tank. They filter this wine under pressure and then bottle under pressure. So it's essentially like one big bottle. Usually the quality of the bubbles aren't as good, and depends on how quick or slowly you ferment it. The slower the better, generally speaking. Um, but this is perfect for what it is. It doesn't need to be a traditional method, in my opinion, or in a small bottle, I should say. The pure, just the luxury, the seduction, the allure of this wine is this beautiful, natural Moscato Giallo sugar that they leave in the bottle. Um, and it's just lovely. It's not extremely complex, but what it presents to you, it has that fun citrus, the floral part, the richer, concentrated, syrupy fruit part to that, the beautiful, just kind of tantalizing bubbles that hit your palate and kind of dance around and keep the sugar light. Um, the finish is beautifully clean. It's a little bit of a sweetness on the finish, but it's not overly sweet. I think this is a beautiful food wine. Um, I think it would pair fantastic with many things: Asian food, spicy food, salty food. Bubbles. I would just kind of stay away from like a steak. But you know what? Who's for me to say what you should drink and what you should eat together? I had this with some German cheesecake. It's a little bit lighter than American style. In the afternoon, it was great. Um, Ideally, I would have had an orange sauce instead of a raspberry sauce. But, anyways, look out for more of this. I love the grape variety Moscato Giallo. Most of the ones that I've had have all been still from the Alto Adige up north that I find delightful. And yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that I missed. The producer is Lovo. I think I said that. Hopefully I did. Lovo. And I'm going to talk about stuff like this in future posts. It says small vineyards here. It's a little sticker. It's the importer. And I think they do a really good job across the board. It's one way to buy wine. You kind of know they have their seal of approval, if you will. A lot of times, importers tend to have a certain quality level, a certain style of wine. So something to look out for if you don't know exactly what you're getting into. You don't have an assistant to help you or don't trust them for some reason. That's one way to give you a little insight into to the wine and its quality and how that relates to you personally. Moscato Giallo, Spumanti, where am I? Coli Eugene, kind of a weird word to say. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I think so. Fior d'Arancio, orange blossoms, DOCG, lovely wine, 16, 17.99, something like that. Go out and get you some. Ciao, ciao.